stone got it sewn like a polo sweater. I ain't playing with these lame rappers. We ain't cut from the same fabric. I'm blowing your brain backwards. You need to stop it with your weak topics. I'm spitting heat-seeking rockets, and I'm teaching with the street prophets. Put your head in the guillotine and chop it. If your blood spill on the floor, I use Mr. Clean to mop it. I'm taking action, fatal attraction. If you laying with a wicked woman, you rather stay with a dragon. I spray the magnum out the station wagon. I'm breaking bad and shaking bastards like Jason at Crystal Lake cabins. Assalamu alaikum, salami and bacon sandwich. Violations annihilating contagion actress. Taking matters in my own hands and breaking glasses. Shaking up the nation with the revelation chapters. Jacob's ladder, gotta hate the cracker. Jeffrey Dahmer ate the bladder like cake batter. I shake, rattle, and roll and make a tank shatter. Face splatter, make haste faster or you gon' taste disaster. I'm out of space, NASA. He's the illest.
Gangster, ever to walk, have the body outlined in the street with chalk.
Cause he's the illest.
The Lord God is breaking the jaw. He's the reason why the throne of Babylon must fall.
Cause he's the illest.
I'm equipped with the shield and the sword. With the Lord standing by my side, I can't fall.
Cause he's the illest.
You know what I'm saying? Yahweh is the illest.
Cause he's the illest.
Yeah, listen, the nations ask out God, have you seen her? Yahweh shall beat that ass like she Tina. You break God's laws, my nigga, he break jaws. Slave horse, cut up heads with claymores. Get up, big choppers, head rocker, cut blocker. They can't ID your flesh from the test. The power of the shotgun bullets, let the mess. Pellets disconnect your face and tear flesh. The Hawashah does it easy with no stress. If death hit you, heed this quick, you got blessed. Hiding in the caves and cliffs, get bitch pressed. Boot marks upon your face, leave imprints. Thanks to the Most High God, we gon' flex. The Hawashah lead the way, we got next. The Alpha Male built his team to catch wreck. Bring the way and stuff inside your damn neck.
Cause he's the illest.
Gangster, ever to
Yeah, Amos saw the storm before we felt the rain. Does your judgment don't miss nobody? Not then, not now. Oh, oh. From Zion came that voice, heavy like a lion's roar. Most High calling out the nation, settling every score. Gaza, Damascus tide, he said, I remember what you done. Fire gon' meet your strongholds when the reckoning comes. Ain't no hiding from the truth when the trumpet begins. He said, for 3 transgressions, and yeah, for 4, I ain't holding it in. Judgment rolling in like thunder on the plain. Ain't no peace when wicked men keep playing with.
They told you it was joy, but it was a harvest. Tradition hides predators. Christmas isn't free. Someone always pays. What he takes never comes back. You gave more than you knew. The ritual continues because you let it.
Every belief feeds something.
Plantation, 9 to 5 be the time I was wasting. Man, I feel like I need a vacation. Saving up for my resignation. Why I feel like my manager hating. Ain't the one for no verbal castration. This government ain't giving reparation. We'll go to crime trying to fight the temptation.
Rejoice in tribulations, demonstrate patience in every situation, picking up the pieces to their heart restoration. People broken hearted and in need of salvation. We in captivity, we done lost our history. Disconnected from his laws, now there's no integrity. Here's the book and let them see, because they dying in these streets. Walking in darkness and where the carcass is, the eagles be. Walking in darkness and where the carcass around us like vultures. Murder on their mind when they approach us. Let your light shine, watch them scatter like roaches. Babylon falling cause we taking back our culture. Heal our land, Abba now, put us back in agriculture. This word burning them up, Romans is a flamethrower. We prophesy destruction, nukes coming, game over. International, continental, ballistic missile. Them bombs dropping like rain, no drizzle. The lake of fire make them sizzle. Showing fruits of the spirit, we don't gather figs of thistles. That's the dog, you know, so just that's how you be saying.
Hey, my name is Amani Bright Laws. I'm a travel business owner. My business is Always Shine Bright Travel, where we help you discover your next bright destination. I want to talk to you really quickly today about becoming a travel business owner. Listen, if your passion is traveling, if your passion is exploring the world, if your passion is wanting to travel and explore the world, then you should become a travel business owner, okay? I have 2 easy ways to get started. Less than 1 minute, okay? The first way, up here, our website, travelagentworkshop.com. And please use my sponsor ID, Always Shine Bright, okay? The second way is a text code. Text the word workshop to the number 281-767-9711. And again, reference my sponsor ID, Always Shine Bright, okay? Listen. The workshop is free. It's a free 3-day workshop, which gives you all the information on how to get started to become a travel business owner. Okay. Any questions that you have will get answered within that workshop. Okay. So let me meet you on the money making side of travel, where you can turn your passion into your paycheck.
Y'all know what time it is. It's your boy Chef D-Nail. Over here, Guess Who's Cooking? Good cooking, good eating, good living. Y'all know how we do it every Sunday about this time, man. We're going to get straight to it. We got the chicken and dumplings, all right? We got the perch fish with the mac and cheese, with the yams, with the 5 cheese toast over here on the Texas side. And, of course, we got the world-famous turkey tips, all right? We also got, on this one, we got the greens with the turkey tails, and we got the spaghetti. You already know what time it is, man. Hit the link, 773-992-4737 is the phone number to place your order every Sunday, all right? And you can hit us up on the Cash App to make payments at Guess Who's Cooking, the number 2, all right? You can hit the www.guesswho'scooking on the World Wide Web. You can catch us on Facebook Marketplace under Guess Who's Cooking, and of course on TikTok, man, at Guess Who's Cooking. Come on down, get your orders.
Give me shame, I give you peace from underneath. Give me mind and being light to reignite. Can you open up the doors to let me in? what you need to find. Tell me no. Tell me what you need to find.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem and Mashiach Yahushai. Double honors to our elders, waking up the lost sheep in these last days. Kom Yasha'Allah, rise Israel. This class called Bad Santa, you know what I'm saying? Christmas is canceled this year. All right. I will be doing the class, the lesson. My name is Kasadia from HY Philly. And as my reader, please introduce yourself.
Shikanya, HOI-ATL.
ATL in the building, Philly ATL. You already know what it is. So we're going to start off by praying the Lord's Prayer in Paleo Hebrew. Okay, so if we want to stand and face the east, prostrate and face the east, however you want to do it, we're going to begin. All right, this is the Lord's Prayer in Paleo Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malachbaka, Taba'a, Tazaka, Aya, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Aya, Bashemayim, Natananawa, Lacham, Kau, Yawam, Wasalafnawa, Kabawafnawa, Kasalafnawa, Kabawafyanawa, Wala'a, Daminawa, Banasai 1, Abo, Hawashainawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Watapalaraf, La Wilamyam, Aman. Okay, so that is the Lord's Prayer. That's in Paleo Hebrew. You can find that also in Matthew chapter 6, verse 9 through 13. All right, so let's get started. This is Christmas Eve. They got the Christmas. They took they got the Christ in Christmas. They want to put the Christ back in Christmas. But was Christ ever in Christmas? Where did this come from? Why did, now everybody's saying that? At first they were saying, okay, this is the birthday of Christ. You don't hear people say that now. Now they say, let's do it for the kids. You know what I mean? And doing it for the kids is continuing. It's very crafty counsel. It's continuing to pass on these pagan traditions through the lineage, right? Because when the kids get older, they're gonna say, "Whoa, we gotta do it for the kids." You know what I mean? And we're here to break these generational curses. You know what I mean? We don't like to get judged by God. Once you get judged by God, then it's all bad. You know what I'm saying? So to avoid that, we're gonna do what God says, and less of what man wants us to do. You know what I'm talking about? The corporations, it's the fourth quarter. They got to dump out all these TVs. So here you go. You got Christmas, right? With a lot of pagan traditions. Let's start with Colossians chapter 2 and verse 6. For me and my house, we're going to serve the Lord. All right. Bring that out.
This is the book of Colossians chapter 2, beginning of verse 6. As ye have therefore received Christ Jesus the Lord, so walk ye in him.
We're going to walk in Christ Jesus, who name in the Hebrew is Yahushai. You know what I'm saying? It says in Daniel, knowledge is going to be increasing these last days. People are going around calling Jesus, but his real name is Yahushai because, there's no J in the Hebrew language. Okay. Read on verse 7.
Verse 7. Rooted and built up in him, and established in the faith, as ye have been taught, abounding therein with thanksgiving.
So we got to be rooted in the scripture. We got to be rooted in Yahushai, who walked this earth, was an unblemished lamb, telling us, how to get it, how to move, in this wicked land, but still be without sin. You know what I mean? Aim to be without sin, aim to do the right thing, aim to follow the law. People say the law is done away with. Like, we're allowed to kill people now. We're allowed to commit adultery. We're allowed to, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just mind-boggling. Why would you want to do that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I want to not kill people. I want to allow my brother to have his wife to himself, you know what I'm saying, without being uh, a sinner, you know what I'm saying? Which, and a sin is what? Transgressing the law. So for people to say the law is done away with, you're just grossly um you're going with the wind. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of demons on you. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't look right. It's not a good look. It's not a good look this close to World War III. You got COVID happened, shut down the whole country. You got a orange dude in office that can't wait to bomb Venezuela. And here you are saying, I can do whatever I want. Jesus died for my sins. You know what I'm saying? He died so we can, you know, that he's a mediator to come back, because we were just always doing some wicked stuff. That's why the Israelites are always in captivity. They always is thinking, I can do whatever I want. Nobody's going to do something, until your dumb behind gets caught up in slavery, and now you're sitting in America at the bottom of every food chain imaginable. You know what I mean? Still popping bottles like you won a championship every weekend, breaking the Sabbath, which is from Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. You know what I mean? We are a stiff neck group of people. Put it like that. What somebody said, we're like the Most High's bad behind kids, man. You know, like baby's kids.
Baby's kids.
Always acting out. Like, you know what I'm saying, everybody want to be you. You want to be like everybody else. How goofy is that? You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. This is why, you know, we doing these classes. We hit the streets. We, you know, on the internet, wherever, just like, yo, stop sinning. It's not going to end up good for you. Okay. And through the Wednesday wake up call, we talk about the things that have happened throughout the week. And it's judgment. There's a lot of judgment going on right now. All right. But before we get to all that, let's continue on with the word. Can we read verse 8?
Gone. Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of men, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ.
It's not of Christ. You know what I'm saying? Where can I read in the scriptures that Yahushua, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, was born on Christmas? I could find that, you know, the pagan deities, Nimrod and them, was born on this day. But where can I find that with Yahushua? You're not going to find it. You know, it doesn't make any sense. The reason why they did that, excellent class yesterday, Yahushua discussing the origins of Christmas, you know, and it's kind of like, you know, these people are in power, right? The Edomites are in power, and they're saying, "Oh, how can we get people to believe in Christianity, paint a white Jesus, right? Say that God loves everybody, while we steal everything from them, rape them, steal their land, and everything like that? How can we do that? Let's merge pagan traditions with this new age Christianity nonsense, right? That we got the book, you know what I mean? Once you got the scriptures, it's kind of like the book of Eli. Guys like, man, this book is powerful. They'll do anything. Because once you have the book and everybody else doesn't, you could tell them anything's in that book. It says here that God loves everybody. So you should love me as I steal from you and harm you. And once you die, you'll go to heaven. And then you'll have a great life. But my heaven's gonna be down here.
Perfect sense.
Yeah, that's what they did. You know what I'm saying? So we got to realize that we've been lied to, and we got to stop these lies. You know, if you want to give the children gifts, give it to them on Purim. Purim's coming up in March. Do you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be following the Hanukkah and how we fought against these Edomites, you know, that were killing women and children, which they're still doing today. Abortions. Do you know what I'm saying? Donald Trump's just bombing boats. He don't know who's on those boats. Off the coast of Venezuela. Deporting people. They dying in police custody. You know, lock them up in detention centers, saying they're illegal. They dying in police custody. They're giving the women what's the word? Where they not allowed to have children anymore. vasectomies. Or I think men get vasectomies.
They got Plan B pills. They got the Tynatube.
Con. So they come into those geo facilities, they leave out, they're not allowed, they're sterilized. Okay. So really nothing has changed under the sun. You know what I mean? They just have different wordings and they try to spin things a little bit more, but we can clearly see that they really haven't changed at all. Okay. But this is philosophy, vain deceits, you following after men. Follow God. Maybe things will be better for you. Think about that. You ever think about that? Instead of like marching and saying, please stop killing us. Please stop killing us. Well, let's have another boycott. Let's boycott Target. Let's boycott Walmart. Let's boycott a boycott. Let's just keep on boycotting until they listen. They don't care about none of that. In order to get what we want, which is freedom, salvation, we have to do what God tells us to do. And God says, don't let nobody spoil you, man. You know what I mean? Through Christmas and Easter and everything. None of that's in the Bible. You know, you got Passover, you got Feast of Tabernacles. You know what I mean? You got new moons. You know, Feast of Dedication. You got a bunch of amazing feast days, amazing holidays, holy days. We call them holy days. Amazing that God says, I want you to do. But if you're doing the opposite of that, and bad things tend to happen. You know what I mean? Your Christmas tree catches on fire, burns down the whole block.
Oh, praise.
You know what I mean? You go out on New Year's Eve, somebody up there with a daggone submachine gun shoots at everybody, and you like, damn, what happened? How come? Where does it say that the New Year's is in January 1st? Do you know what I'm saying? It's freezing that January 1st. You're sitting there shaking, and this is supposed to be the new year? Who gave you that? Who told you that? You know what I'm saying? Man, stop following after man. Can you read verse 9?
Verse 9. For him dwelleth all the fullness of the Godhead bodily.
You ain't got to go to man, see what man has to say. Go to Russia, they see what they doing. They got a whole nother type of feast days over there or holidays over there. You go to India, they're throwing dung at each other over there. You go to Africa, they taking showers under bull urine, like just weird stuff. No, stick to the script. This is the script, the Holy Bible. Go ahead, read verse 10.
And ye are complete in him, which is the head of all principality and power.
It's the head of everything. All principality, all power. Okay, we got a connection. He's the mediator. Yahweh Shai is the mediator to the holy, to the most high God. That's powerful right there. You know what I'm saying? You got a connection. You can break that connection if you keep doing what man tells you to do. And you can tell it's social engineering because the minute you say you don't celebrate Christmas, the look on their face is like, you got 3 heads. You see them like, what do you mean? Everybody celebrates Christmas. Look, just look. This is what we all do. Why are you not doing what we all do? The way your mama said, if everybody was jumping off a bridge, would you do it? That's pretty much jumping off a bridge, doing the opposite of what God tells you to do. All right. So let's get the first video. Let me first by saying Fair Use Act, Fair Use Act. This class is protected by the Fair Use Act. Okay. Teaching moment when it's a lesson, it's class. All right. So Fair Use Act is in full effect. All praise to the Most High. Boom. We got disclaimer and everything. You can read Esau. All right, Kyle, whenever you're ready, let's see what happens during Christmas. What is Santa doing now? Because in reality, Christmas has been canceled. I don't know if you heard. Santa's locked up right now. He's about to do some hard time. You know, he be putting your child on his lap. Not a good look.
A retired South Jersey teacher and a current Santa Claus actor is facing serious charges tonight. Police in Hamilton Township, Mercer County, have arrested Mark Polino.
The 64-year-old is accused of possessing child pornography because of his role of performing as Santa and interacting with children. Investigators moved quickly to secure his arrest.
Monday night, the big story on Action News is a Santa Claus actor sitting behind bars tonight.
Action News reporter Trish Hartman is live in Hamilton Township with the details. Trish.
Yeah, Rick, sorry, this news will be very upsetting to people in the community during this time that's full of holiday family events. That man who is known locally to perform as Santa Claus has been charged with some very disturbing allegations. While Christmas cheer is all around, a New Jersey man who performs as the big man in red is facing some serious criminal charges.
It wasn't until we saw Mark taken away that we realized something was going on with him.
64-year-old Mark Polino was arrested Friday. Neighbors say they saw police and a SWAT team at his home when he was taken into custody, now charged with crimes related to possessing child pornography and endangering the welfare of a child.
He was such a nice guy. He played Santa. I knew he was a teacher. It was kind of disappointing.
Paulino goes by Santa Mark, and according to his website, he offers a little extra Christmas magic to holiday events. He's also a retired elementary school teacher for the Hamilton Township School District.
This is Santa Claus.
According to court documents, he's also accused of filming a child in a bedroom and then sending it to himself or someone else. Hi. A woman who answered the door at Paulino's listed address immediately closed the door when we knocked today. Authorities say they were alerted to alleged illegal internet activity on Thursday, and because of his interaction with young children, they executed a warrant the next day. Folks in town say they don't want to believe it's true, but the charges are upsetting.
It's a terrible, terrible thing to hear about, especially this time of the year. I have grandsons, and that's a sad thing.
And we also reached out to the contact information on Paulino's Santa Mark website, and no one has responded. Paulino remains behind bars for now, and he has a scheduled court appearance tomorrow morning. Prosecutors intend to argue that he needs to stay behind bars during these legal proceedings. We're live in Hamilton Township, New Jersey. Trish Hartman, Channel 6, Action News. Rick.
Trish, thank you for that report.
Yes, thank you, Trish. Because we got to get this guy out of here. All right. Santa not only is a stone cold pedophile, you know what I'm saying? He also was a teacher. You think he became a pedophile overnight? This guy wanted to be, wanted to be Santa, and like he's, has a website, he probably has discount rates. You know what I mean? So when you put your child on some adult's lap, right, through vain traditions of men, and then to come to find out that nobody obviously was looking into this guy as far as his his conduct, looking at his rap sheet, this guy should be on a Megan's list. You know what I'm saying? Be watched all the time. He's one of them top tier pedophiles. So Christmas is canceled, man. You know what I mean? Christmas is definitely canceled. Con, damn devil. So now that we understand this, right? But the problem is the social engineering is so strong because you don't want to go against the grain. You know what I mean? Oh, I've been doing it for years, and everybody, that's just a one-off. It's not a one-off, because just like a police, right? If the police hate, Edomite police officer hates the so-called black man, Jake, right? He's going to want to be that. That's his job. Like, I get to get paid to enforce the law strictly on black men or black women, black children, whatever. Tamir Rice, George Floyd. Like, I get the opportunity to feed that demon that's inside me to totally oppress black people. So I'm be a cop. People that abuse animals, they try to work in zoos. You know what I'm saying? They try to work around whatever demon they got that's pulling them to do something evil, the strongest, that's where they go to work at. I was watching a video. Eve was like, Edomite women become nurses the same reason Edomite men become police officers. Oh, another one died. Oh, it's so terrible. Oh, I gave him the wrong medication. I didn't know. Do you know what I'm saying? So when you get the Edomite pedophile, he's going to try to be a teacher. He's going to try to be, to moonlight or whatever as Santa during the so-called Christmas season. You know what I'm saying? So this is what they do. There's nothing new under the sun. For us to still continue, like, I don't know what's going on. It's just you're grossly incompetent and you put your children in harm's way. That makes you a bad parent. Okay? You have to wake up. You have to learn what God wants to tell you, what God is teaching you, rather than what man is teaching you. Because man is bringing you under the brink of World War III, right? That's prophecy. Not saying it's a bad thing, but you're following after man, he's going to lead you into a ditch. Okay. You don't do what God says, you're going to burn in thermonuclear destruction in America as it is prophesied. Okay. Let's get Jeremiah chapter 10. The classic. You know what I mean? Because there's some people that obviously, haven't read this before. And it's very important because you think we're just making stuff up. You know what I mean? Look at them angry Israelites always telling people, ruining people's fun. You know what I mean? But it's not fun to burn in thermonuclear destruction. It's not fun to get judged by God. It's not fun to get thrown into some, El Salvador prison. You know what I'm saying? Because if we're not doing what God commands us to do, we're going to get judged. Simple as that. So this is about 600 years before Christ was even born. He says, don't do what these damn pagans do. All right. And we got it right here in your Bible. You can check it out in your Bible app, whatever you got to do. But this is it. Okay. Let's bring it out, King.
I still don't believe it.
Still don't.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, beginning at verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel.
Read on.
Thus says the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them.
It says, learn not the way of the heathen. Don't do what they do. You are separate, holy, set apart. Stop trying to be like everybody else. Now, Nicki Minaj, you see her, she's like, Donald Trump is so dashing and handsome, and JD Vance. These are the people our boys should look up to. They are Donald Trump's in the Epstein list. You know what I'm saying? Like he is hanging out with the most prolific child trafficker on the face of the planet. You know what I'm saying? That in recent history, this guy has been all over the place. He had his own island when it comes to trafficking and abusing children. She says we should be like him. She's an idiot. Don't be like her. Okay. Read the scriptures. Be as holy and separate and set apart as you can be from this evil, wicked world. Do you know what I mean? The president of the United States is a 34 count convicted felon. I know a lot of criminals in my lifetime, man, and none of them came close to 34 felonies. You will never be out of jail. You get one, they roof you. This man has 34 felonies. And she says, you know what? Be like him. This dude is in the Epstein list. He's in another picture grabbing.
Broken.
Yeah, I mean, on Bill Clinton. Apparently he was, man, I don't want to get in that again. But you know what I'm saying? He allegedly, through the Epstein files, was on his knees to Bill Clinton. She says, be like him. Nah, the Most High God says, learn not the way of the heathen. This is what they do. You gotta totally disavow all that stuff. You know what I mean? Can you read verse 3?
Verse 3. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workman with the axe.
So cutting trees out of the forest. Okay. What does that sound like? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to say don't celebrate Christmas, but it can very well articulate everything that you do during Christmas and tell you don't do it. Learn not the way to heathen. This is pagan traditions. All right. So how are you talking about this is celebrating the birth of Christ? Well, this is 600 years before Christ was even born. Somebody make it make sense. All right. Can you read verse 4?
Verse 4. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not.
God, you gotta deck the tree, right? Deck the halls, deck the tree with all, you know what I mean? Tinsel and lights and everything like that. Move not. Go ahead.
They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil. Neither also is it in them to do good.
This is an idol. It's just sitting there. It's an idol. You got to get on your knees to this idol, put trees underneath the idol, praise the idol. All right, go ahead.
For as much as there is none like unto thee, O Lord, thou art great, and thy name is great in might.
So we got to figure out how to celebrate God. Do you know what I mean? You celebrating Christmas, you got to celebrate the Most High. You got to celebrate His Son. Do you know what I mean? You got to celebrate the laws, statutes, commandments that He gave us, that we could be on the right path. That's our celebration. You know, right around this time, we have Hanukkah going against the wicked, evil Greeks that, you know, destroyed our people, tried to kill us all off, and the Maccabees fought against them. That's our celebration.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Got to do holy things. Don't do the stuff that the wicked heathens do. Go ahead, read verse 7.
7. Who would not fear thee, O King of nations? For to thee doth it appear, Salaki. For to thee doth it appertain. For as much as among all the wise men of the nations, and in all their kingdoms, there is none unlike unto thee.
So wouldn't you rather fear God than man? Man kill you. God will kill you and destroy your soul. The Most High God, Yahweh, by Hashem Mashiach Yahweh Shai, will protect you. Will send angels to encamp around you. You got to stop being scared, you know what I'm saying, of man. Fear God and keep the commandments. All right, it's verse 8.
But they are altogether brutish and foolish. The stock is a doctrine of vanities.
It's a bunch of vanity, man. That's it. You're following after vain philosophies of man. And God will kill you for that. You know, that's why around these holidays, these so-called holidays, a lot of judgment takes place. You know, you will think that everybody's in their house and they're snuggled in by the campfire or the fireplace, you know, singing Christmas carols, sipping eggnog and stuff. It'd be fights, stabbings, shootings amongst family members. A wicked spirit jumps on somebody, you know what I mean, that God allowed it to happen, and it killed the entire household. You know, I think it was Christmas Eve that the Klan was born. You know what I mean? I think it was Christmas Eve the Klan was born by, like, I think 65 or 50 some Confederate soldiers started the Ku Klux Klan. This is a very wicked time, and trust and believe the pagans know what it is. You actually do any bad research, the pagans will tell you, this is our time. You know what I'm saying? We still get down like that. Y'all do like Christmas stuff. We having orgies and doing blood sacrifices and all that. It still takes place during this time. That's why them evil spirits be out. You know, the spirit world is very much real. You know, they don't teach you that in school, but we're going to go over a few things tonight regarding that. Can we read verse 9?
Verse 9. Silver spread into plates is brought from Tarshish, and gold from Uphaz, the work of the workman, and of the hands of the founder. Blue and purple is their clothing. They are all the works of cunning men.
Okay, so all these gold and these beautiful garments and all that, you know what I'm saying, is used for this time period of the heathen worship. Go ahead.
But the Lord is the true God. He is the living God and an everlasting King. At his wrath, the earth shall tremble, and the nations shall not be able to abide in his indignation.
So when bad things happen, when wars start, do you know what I'm saying? You're going to understand why. God is wroth. He says, don't do it. We do it. You know what I mean? Like, well, I guess, you know, I mean, maybe God was wrong. Oh, you know what people say? It was a long time ago. Scriptures say 1 day is 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is 1 day with the Lord. You know, he didn't just say, okay, all that's canceled. Now do whatever you want. That's not how God works. Okay. And you can see you got Santa, SWAT team coming down the chimney of Santa's house, man. You know, did he see that coming? Did he have cookies laid out? SWAT team kicked in his door with the 4-4. You see his neighbors like, he's a good guy. You know, I don't know. Apparently he's a pedophile. Yeah.
That's naughty.
You know what I mean? He was not nice. Santa was being naughty. They came down Santa's chimney with a SWAT team. Yo, Christmas is canceled, man. Just put them things up. Put the wreath, put them joints in the trash now. Take down your tree tonight. Don't wait until the morning. You might not wake up. This is serious. God ain't playing with nobody. You know what I mean? And what did he say? You know, at his wrath, the earth shall tremble, and the nations shall not be able to abide in his indignation. It's going to be fury. It's going to be fire. It's going to be crazy. All right. So let's continue on. All right. Let's get Psalm chapter 145 and 6. All right. The Lord does not play no games. He put Santa out there, and Santa can't even get no bail. He went right in front of the judge. He's like, this is your prime season. Keep you behind in jail. Santa is getting beat up. They're taking his cookies, Paul's. You know what I mean? Anything he got. Santa, give me his socks. Give me his shoes. What's that? Santa ain't used to jail. Santa was in the North Pole with Miss Claus and the elves. Now he's sitting there doing a hard time on D Block. Santa's probably stuck in the infirmary. You know what I'm saying? Them socking them locks, you know, getting beat with bars of soap. And dude's in there like, yo, how come you never showed up at my house, Santa? Santa is getting his behind whooped.
Santa checked in.
Yeah, man. Right? Put your hand in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? Walking Santa around, passing him around like commissary, man. Santa right now is he's what's the word? Santa is currency right now, man. People are losing bets. All right, you got Santa for the night. You got Santa tomorrow. That happens in jail. Santa is not built like that. All right, so the Most High is really putting Santa in a predicament. You know what I'm saying? So we should look at Santa and the things he's going through and say, I don't want that to happen to me. Let me do what God wants me to do. All right, stop sinning and keep these commandments. Let's bring that out, King. Psalm chapter 145, verse 6.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 145 and verse 6. And men shall speak of the might of the terrible acts, and I will declare thy greatness.
It's terrible. Right before the Christmas season, who's going to give all these kids gifts? You know what I'm saying? All around the world. My Citizens app is going off. They saying slaves bells are being shown in the North Pole, and it's, you know, now it's in North America, and I guess it's going to go to Africa or whatever. I don't know. But Santa ain't there. Santa's locked up. He ain't getting no bail. Go ahead, read verse 7.
They shall abundantly utter the memory of thy great goodness, and shall sing of thy righteousness.
But all praise to Yahweh Shemel Shah. No joking, no joking, no folly, no folly. You know, this is like spiritual. You know what I mean? Right before Christmas, Santa gets busted for being a pedophile. And just an overall creep right before Christmas. You know what I mean? Thawada Abba. So maybe our people see that and say, you know what? I've been living foul. I've been going the wrong way. You know, this is Christmas. Christmas is pretty much like, you see this cell phone right here? I'm in power. I got the gun. We're going to have cell phone day. Everybody has one. Everybody's on their cell phone. So now we're going to have cell phone day. I know it doesn't say anything in the Bible, but I'm rewriting it, right? Because I got the gun. And I'm the only one with a Bible right now. It's like the Roman Empire. You know what I mean? Like these Edomites. Once they conquered, they had the scriptures. You know, think about it from our perspective being here in America. Hundreds of years go by, we're not reading anything. If we didn't have any oral tradition, you know what I mean? As you can see with the singing, you know what I mean? Our ancestors singing in the fields, that was like our oral tradition. You know what I'm saying? But say we didn't have that, we didn't know who we were. They could tell you anything. And that's what Christmas is. They tell you everything, anything. And if you don't go back in the history to find out when this happened, you'll believe anything. And you'll keep running into the brick wall and not realizing why you're not getting the help you should be getting from the Most High God. Let's get Psalm 59 and 13. So now that we know, right? You can go on one of these classes, you can talk to an Israelite out on the streets and just listen for a couple minutes, and then now you get the information, right? So that's oral tradition, and also we got the written text as well, right? Now, when we realize we've been lied to, it's payback. You know what I'm saying? It's payback time. Now, I'm not talking about you getting a gun or you doing anything violent. You ain't have to do that. All you have to do is follow God's law, statutes, commandments, and then talk to him and pray like we're doing right now. Bring that out, King.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 59 and verse 13. Consume them in wrath. Consume them, that they may not be. And let them know that God ruleth in Jacob unto the ends of the earth. Selah.
Khan. That's a prayer right there. Consume them. You know what I'm saying? Take them off this planet, you know? And now we're going to go through a couple things that happened fairly recently. You know, we didn't have a class last week. It was Hanukkah, but still got to talk about the things that happened then. You know what I mean? So it's fairly recent. Let's get matter of fact, let's watch it first. Consume them in wrath. Let's get the next video, King. Let's see what happened during the Hanukkah season, and it's going to keep on happening. Okay, judgment is taking place. So you could bring that out, King. I think it's with Rob Reiner. That's the second video. Meathead, they call him. You watch Archie Bunker. Kind. Q Weiner King. And it might be on mute. Or the volume might be all the way down. Can you hear it? Can anybody hear it?
Nah.
What's wrong with it?
The son
Yeah.
is, according to the LA
There we
Sheriff's
go.
Department. He
Now can you hear it? Can you rewind
or
again?
has a $4 million bail now against him. Police are investigating this as a We also have an update now on some breaking news that we've been following throughout the morning. Nick Reiner, the son of the beloved actor and director Rob Reiner, and his wife Michelle, who were both found dead in their Brentwood home, is now in police custody. The son is, according to the LA Sheriff's Department, he was or has a $4 million bail now against him. Police are investigating this as a homicide. The initial call came in at about 3:30 Sunday afternoon. Officers discovered the couple dead in their home with multiple stab wounds. The LAPD says the Reiner's daughter was at the crime scene. We've now learned that one of the couple's sons, Nick Reiner, as I said, was a suspect and is now in police custody. This is a live look at his Hollywood home where Reiner lived with his wife. He is a Hollywood legend, first finding fame as Michael Meathead Stivic on All in the Family before directing classics like The Princess Bride and When Harry Met Sally, a film where he met his wife. He also appeared recently in the newest season of The Bear, based in Chicago. Rob Reiner was 78 years old.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our news.
And that was Meathead. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you ever seen Archie Bunker, what happens in Archie Bunker's house. Archie was a racist. He was sexist. He was homophobic. He was everything that these Edomites are. You know what I'm saying? I don't know homophobic, but he was like your typical Edomite, right? You know, back in my day, and this all in the third, right? And then you had Meathead that would come over and he would say, hey, Archie, that's not nice. You know, these people are good people. You know, this is a country full of immigrants. He was like the voice of reason in Archie Bunker's house, right? But one thing he did say, right? And you know, it's acting or whatever, but every idle word, you know, he might be a liberal Edomite, but he says when it came to God, he was like, yeah, you know, because God, you know, we need God in this country, and you know, we don't have God, bad things happen. And Meathead's like, yeah, whatever, Archie. Yeah, whatever you say. And he's like, what'd you say, Meathead? You don't believe in God? And he's like, oh, it's just a social construct, and da-da-da. You know, I had to give him the Edomite lingo of why God doesn't exist and this, that, and the third, right? But what it comes down to, right, I say that to say this. With Meathead and any other liberal, most likely liberals, they're like, everybody is good, you know? And I don't care if you're trans, if you're gay, if you're black. They always start with the sexual side of it because that's their that's their twist. They're into that. You know what I'm saying? But thing with Jake, all you gotta do is mention Jake's name and he loves you. You know, we think blacks should be able to do whatever they want. They're like, oh man, I'm gonna vote for you. You said black. You know what I mean? It doesn't take much. That's how destroyed we are. You know what I mean? What's his name? That did nothing for black people. Obama. Obama came to West Philly. He said, oh, I just had some delicious sweet potato pie. And everybody's like, yeah, woohoo. We love you, Barack. I ate sweet potato pie too. You know what I'm saying? And he did nothing. He did nothing with black people, man. Give you a Obama phone just so they can track you. You know what I'm saying? To track you and listen to what you got to say. You know? So whether liberal, conservative, both Edomites, both are fit for destruction. And it's going to be a point in time very, very soon where they're going to want to give you everything because they're going to understand that there's nothing they can do to get out of this. To the point where he's going to war with Trump and saying Trump can do this and, you know, we're going to fight against Trump and this, that, and the third. And his son, his namesake, killed him and his wife.
Oh.
That spirit just jumped on him. You know what I'm saying? And they'll tell you in a heartbeat, oh, it's mental illness. He was mentally ill. He was on drugs. It really doesn't matter. Do you know what I'm saying? You can say whatever you want to, I guess, feel better. You know what I mean? That doesn't happen to you. But this is the reality that God can get you at any time with any body that he chooses to get you with.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? And they got a movie coming out with what's the guy's name? It's called Disclosure Day. What is his name? My bad. I should know this. Very, very popular producer. Disclosure Day. Steven Spielberg. I don't know why I couldn't remember that. Steven Spielberg is coming out with a movie called Disclosure Day in June, right? And one thing that I saw in the preview is how a woman was sitting there talking to a guy, and the camera went behind the man. And, you know, before the camera went behind him, the woman had a blonde hair. Came over the other side, the woman had a brunette hair. So she pretty much just changed her entire face. So that's going to be a disclosure that you never really know who you're talking to. You know what I'm saying? That in itself is very scary when you actually sit down and think about it. Because it could be an angel, just chop your head off and change to somebody else and keep it moving like nothing ever happened. And we'll talk about some things to that nature later on in the class. But let's get Sirach chapter 1 and 21. You know, because right now, they a lot of Edomites got a lot to say about Jake, you know, talking down on us, continuing to call us out of our names and, you know, just oppressive tactics, you know what I mean? But that's all going to come to a screeching halt when they realize what's really going on. And what's really going on? Judgment. Let's bring that out, King. Sirach chapter 1 and verse 21.
Come. This is the book of Sirach in the Apocrypha, also known as Ecclesiasticus, chapter 1 and verse 21. The fear of the Lord driveth away sins, and where it is present, it turneth away wrath.
So having the fear of God, following the law, statutes, commandments, can turn away that type of wrath. Go ahead.
A furious man cannot be justified, for the sway of his fury shall be his destruction.
So what happened, they're at a party, a holiday party, right? Conan O'Brien's holiday party. And his son was just sitting there, just like looking out of it. You know, he's walking up to people saying, what's your first name? What's your last name? Are you rich? What's your first name? What's your last name? Are you rich? He has spirits on him. So I guess, you know, Meathead got, you know, like embarrassed, like, yo, man, come on, you embarrassed me in front of all my rich friends. You know what I'm saying? There are producers and all types of, you know, Hollywood execs and this, that, and the third. So they went home, got in a fight. Little Meathead grabbed a knife and cut up mommy and daddy. You know what I'm saying? And Esau's good for that. Esau, if you watch them when they're little, they have no discipline. You ever notice that? You're in a grocery store or something, and you see a little Edomite. I want this candy now, mom. F you, mom. The kid's like 4 or 5 years old. It's like, chill, Johnny. Relax. Okay, I'll get you the candy. I want 3 candies, mom. Stop being a, you know what I'm saying? And you be like, I don't think you're allowed to talk to your parents like that. But that's how they raise their children. You know what I'm saying? So it's really like, you know how they say we're being raised by wolves? Like, what were they raised by wolves? They're literally being raised by like nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like their parents are like their friend that gives them anything they want and never says no. You know? So the minute they hear no, they lash out. They don't have to take it. They get emotional. You know. So let's get let's get Sirach 3 and 16. Let's talk about, you're supposed to treat your parents with level of respect. That is really fundamental. It's the first commandment with promise. You live long on the land. You know what I'm saying? Paraphrasing, treat your parents with respect. Okay. You do the opposite, you as good as dead. Go ahead, read that verse 16.
Con, this is the verse of this is the book of Sirach, chapter 3 and verse 16. He that forsaketh his father is a blasphemer, and he that angrieth his mother is cursed of God.
Con. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be treating your parents with a level of respect. They don't do that at all. And you can see that happening in our community as well. Snotty nosed kids giving their parents hell. You know what I mean? They tell you, we tell these children, do this. All right, do that. Not to be mean, not to be just overbearing, but it's for your own good. All right, teach you some discipline, teach you how to move in this world, teach you how to hold things down if we're not here. You know what I'm saying? But caught up in terrible music, terrible movies, and just the overall sediment of evil in America, you see our children going that direction. And you see them falling apart. So it's not just Esau, it's in the 12 tribes as well. You know what I'm saying? But let's just continue on. Let's get Matthew chapter 10 and verse 34. You gotta obey your parents, man. Because think about it. You got Yahushua coming back, right? The King of all kings, Alpha and Omega. And if you can't even listen to your parents when they tell you to pick up your socks, you can't even listen to your parents when they tell you to do the dishes, then what does he need with you? You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's one thing that atheists or people that don't believe in God, they're like, well, what God will kill children? A just God. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what are the children talking to the prophet saying, go up there, bald head, go out there, bald head, and then they got tore by she bears.
The bears.
You know what I'm saying? These little children got some mouths on them. Do you think your Hawashai is gonna sit there and listen to some a child, doesn't matter what age, but child, you're old enough to talk back, you're old enough to get smacked. You ever heard that before? You say that to your Hawashai, he'll chop your head off. I don't need you. Do you know what I'm saying? So a lot of these children got it misconstrued of what it means. You got to listen. And with Esau kill anybody. You know what I mean? So they raising this is a movie called Verbanium, something like that. Pretty good movie. I recommend it. I don't want to give it away, but you're raising your replacement, son of it. You're raising, if you raise them the wrong way, then they're going to be the one that take you out of here. You know what I'm saying? And that goes across the color lines. All right, let's go to Matthew chapter 10 and verse 34.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 10 and verse 34. Think not that I come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword.
So this is red letter. Yahushua's letting you know I'm not. You thought I was here to send peace, especially when he comes back. He had to open up people's eyes while he was here the first time. You know what I mean? But it wasn't dramatic. You know what I mean? I mean, as far as like people dying left and right and everything like that. He said, when I'm coming with a sword. Go ahead.
For I am come to set a man at variance against his father, and the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law.
Go ahead.
And a man's foes shall be they of his own household.
So this is an issue, of course, because we, think about now, like, oh, you know what? I'm not celebrating Christmas because I learned that this isn't the right thing to do. You know what I mean? God says don't do that. Now Kind of excellent precept, throughout the king. Now, the whole family does, though. You're the only one that has ears to hear and eyes to see. So that becomes an issue. You know what I'm saying? Don't get to the point where you're fighting and an all-out brawl and you're throwing stuff at people. No, man, don't do that. Like, especially if you're living under the roof of somebody. If it's your house, it's like, yo, this is what we doing. We ain't doing that Christmas stuff. Okay. But if you at a certain age, you younger, you live with your parents, you know what I mean, and they're not changing, don't end up like Esau on the news. You got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean? Seek out your own salvation with fear and trembling. You told them, they ain't listen. Let's move on season. All right. Now it's however old you are, build up your funds. You can be on your own. And you have your household in order. Okay. All right. Now let's continue on with the word. Okay. So now you got Rob Reiner falling apart. His whole family collapsing. Let's get Ezekiel chapter 25 and verse 12. And Trump is crazy. I don't know if you watching. Trump said after he died, he had Trump derangement syndrome. He didn't like me and I didn't like him. You know what I mean? Boy is dead and got gutted by his son. This dude is talking heavy about the guy that just died. People are like, yo, you crazy? Are you serious? And then they asked him again the next day, like the reporters was like, a lot of your Republican counterparts kind of, pushed back against the statement you made about Rob Reiner. You know what I mean? Like he's the body ain't even cold yet. You know what I'm saying? So anything you want to take back? It's like, nah, I didn't like him. He didn't like me. This dude is supposed to be diplomatic. This guy's supposed to have some type of level of compassion. That lets you know Esau has no compassion. The thing about Trump that I actually like is that he's honest. For the most part, he's an honest liar, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? He's an honest liar. So he will tell you the truth. He'll give you level of truth. He'll lie about a bunch of stuff. He'll give you a level of truth that you don't usually see with Esau, because Esau is usually the smile in your face, stab you in the back type of person. You can see he has no compassion, zero morality. Somebody like that should never be the head of any country ever. But the fact that he is, that the Most High is this thing's almost done. You know what I'm saying? This is the one. He will be the one to push the button and not even think twice about it. To destroy relationships that the United States made with Canada and Mexico and Europe and all these other countries. He destroyed them. It's not even been a year yet. He had tariffs on his friends, you know what I'm saying? Or America's friends, so to speak. So just getting into his head, listening to what he's saying, that goes forth. They were made to be the wicked. How can you make straight what the Most High made crooked? All right. So what happens now? Judgment. Go ahead, Ken. You can bring that out.
God, this is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 25 and verse 12. Thus says the Lord God, because that Edom has dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance, and hath greatly offended, and revenged himself upon them.
Esau being the so-called white man, Jacob being the so-called Black, Hispanics, Native Americans, or Judah, house of Judah, actually being the so-called blacks. But they take vengeance on everybody, okay, on all the 12 tribes. Go ahead.
Therefore, thus says the Lord God, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of Denan shall fall by the sword.
It's time to go. It's judgment time. Guys messed up, It's written thousands of years ago, and here we are. It's happening as we speak. Let's go to the next video. we're going to watch the next two videos, which was two mass shootings that happened during the Hanukkah, actually the opening of Hanukkah. Before we went to see, Slakia, before we went to the Hanukkah feast, Brown shooting happened. When we got back, the shooting that happened in Australia. So the Most High said, look, I got you. Before he even started, judgment was taking place. All right. Fair use act. Fair use act. When you got it, you can bring it out. It is vicious. Most High don't play no games.
Two students who were killed there, but the search for the suspect continues. Thank you so much for joining us here at noontime. I'm Paula Eben. The person of interest who was in custody for the shooting at Brown has been released. WBZ's Samantha Cheney is on the Brown University campus with the very latest developments.
Well, this afternoon, CBS News has confirmed that Ella Cook and Mohammed Aziz Umorzakov were the two victims killed in Saturday's shooting on Brown's campus. Today, their lives are being remembered fondly.
Ella Cook was one of those who was killed yesterday. And those of you who knew her, those of you who know her, she was an incredible, grounded, faithful, bright light.
The absence of two students killed at Brown University Saturday afternoon is felt on campus today.
He's kind. He reached out to me as soon as we got our roommate assignments. And then most important, he was just present.
Freshman Kamari Mann says one of the victims, Muhammad, was his roommate. And 3 days after he was killed, Providence Mayor Brett Smiley confirmed a twist in the investigation.
Last night, we announced that we have released the person of interest who had been detained.
I think it's fair to say that there is no basis to consider him a person of interest. So that's why he's being released. You know, we still have a lot of steps left to take, obviously, in this case.
Authorities say they're still searching for the person in this video seen wearing all black and calmly walking away from the scene. This is who they believe may be responsible for opening fire inside of a university building during a final exam review session, killing 2 people and injuring 9 others. As the investigation continues, police, they're now asking for the public's help.
To look for additional video evidence, to look for other evidence that may have been missed in the first part of the investigation.
We're going to solve this case. I can't tell you what direction it's going to take right now, but we're going to solve it.
At this time, police, they say there is no immediate threat to Brown's campus right now. There is a heightened police presence in the area. Here in Providence, I'm Samantha Cheney, WBZ News.
Matter of fact, well, you can pause that. We're about to go right into that as well. So in Brown, 11 people shot. Matter of fact, hold on, let me see. Was it 2 dead? 11. I think 11 shot. Not too sure. I'll look that up. But the next one, and that happened about 11 p.m., right? The Brown shooting. 4 p.m., my bad. And Australia happened about 2:47, right? And now 16 dead. This is what we're about to watch. And 40 injured. And then later on, or during, you know what I mean? That was Australian time, right? But I think when you add it up over here, it was 2:40. It was 2:47 Slovakia. That's what time it was over here. And in Brooklyn, they had 6 Jakes shot. I believe they were Jakes, you know what I mean? Could have been Black Hispanic, you know what I mean? Brooklyn at about 1:16 a.m. It pays to be in the right spot. Do you know what I'm saying? It pays to be where you're supposed to be. If it's the opening of Hanukkah, be at the opening of Hanukkah. Don't be at no party. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not in the right spirit, like we're about to watch with Esau is not in the right spirit because it's the Amalek. Most High said, I war on Amalek from generation to generation. Amalek got gunned down all crazy on Bondi Beach in Australia. Okay, let me see about how many victims were in Brown University. I think just 2, but people were just shot, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Bear with me. So the deaths is 4, including the perpetrator, and 9 injured. So I guess a total of 13. And the guy that did it, Esau, he was an Edomite from Portuguese. So you have the Portuguese destroying Ishmael and Esau. Esau and Ishmael. So it's crazy how during this week of Hanukkah, it was the heathens destroying each other. And of course, you're going to have Jake in there. It seems like Jake, and that was the Brooklyn one, but nobody died. They got shot. But that means your behind should have been at a Hanukkah festival, a Hanukkah feast, rather than a party. Okay. Let's play the next video.
Tonight in Australia, horror and heroism. Thousands running for their lives down Sydney's famous Bondi Beach. As police say, 2 shooters, a father and son, opened fire with long guns on a Jewish community event celebrating the first night of Hanukkah. At least 15 people were killed, including a 10-year-old girl and a Holocaust survivor, and around 40 more wounded in what authorities say was a targeted terrorist attack.
An act of evil anti-Semitism, terrorism that has struck the heart of our nation.
Of the 2 gunmen, the father was killed, police say. His 24-year-old son in custody in critical condition. 3 law enforcement sources tell NBC News the son's name is Naveed Akram.
I think what was the most shocking was how long the gunfire lasted. The shots were going on for ages, multiple minutes.
This is the moment a bystander leapt into action, wrestling what appears to be a shotgun from one of the attackers. His name is Ahmed Al-Ahmed, a father of 2 who owns a nearby fruit shop, according to Australia's Channel 7. His family says he was shot in the hand and arm.
We hope he will be fine. He's a hero. 100% he's a hero.
Tonight, his bravery is being hailed worldwide, including by the president.
And saved a lot of lives, so very brave person who's right now in the hospital.
Israel's prime minister accusing Australia's leader of being weak on anti-Semitism.
You let the disease spread, and the result is the horrific attacks on Jews we saw today.
Among the dead, Rabbi Eli Schlanger.
Joy and happiness, prosperity.
A representative of the Chabad Jewish organization, remembered for his commitment to spreading joy.
Raf is joining us now. And in Australia, Raf, gun deaths are relatively rare. This is a place with strict gun laws. And we're learning one of the shooters did have a gun license.
Yeah, Hallie, police are saying the father had legally purchased 6 guns. They found some of them at the crime scene. Others they recovered during a raid at the shooter's family home. Police also saying they disarmed 2 rudimentary bombs they found in a car parked at the scene of the shooting. Hallie.
We thank you for watching. And remember, stay updated on breaking.
So that is Judgment. Okay. Dancing, partying, having a good time. Now, things are going to get darker than that. You know what I mean? This is the Christmas season. This is the Christmas holiday. Judgment definitely takes place during this time. Okay, so even though that happened during Hanukkah, you know, this season is filled with judgment, retribution, recompense. You know, The Lord does not play. So following what he says to do is the best move to make it in these last days. All right. Let's continue on because I got some more things going on. Let's talk about let's watch the next video, in fact. And then we'll come back with the scripture. Brooklyn, like we talked about, Brooklyn had a nice, mass shooting, the night of the opening of Hanukkah. The blacks and Hispanics that got shot, a lot of them leg shots, arm shots, whatever. Most High willing they could repent and come back to the law, statutes, commandments. But also in Brooklyn, there was an incident on the train where Amalek was coming back home from Hanukkah, and I think he got beat up. So it doesn't matter where he goes, whether it's in Australia, whether it's over here, he isn't safe anywhere because God said he's not safe anywhere. Not because we said it. We ain't putting out no hits on no Amalek. That's why now they got all these laws and you can't talk about Amalek. You're going to get this, you're going to get that. It's like, that's not stopping anything. You know what I'm saying? Just because you don't see the missile coming doesn't mean the missile's not coming. We just letting you know it's not only coming, it's here. All right. Go ahead, Ken. You could play that.
A disturbing confrontation between two men and a group of young Jewish men returning from Hanukkah. Tonight, the NYPD Hate Crimes Unit is investigating. And good evening, everyone, at 6 o'clock. I'm Bill Ritter.
And I'm Liz Cho. Mayor Adams is calling what happened despicable and hateful violence. A group of young men say that they were targets of anti-Jewish comments during the confrontation that was caught on camera.
This happened as they were returning to Brooklyn. This after attending a Hanukkah ceremony yesterday in Manhattan. Tonight, both the NYPD and the U.S. Justice Department say they're investigating.
Eyewitness News reporter Crystal Cranmore is live in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, with our lead story tonight. Crystal.
Good evening, Liz and Bill. Well, those young men were actually headed to Chabad Lubavitch, just a few blocks from here, where they're temporarily staying and studying religious texts. They actually hopped off here at the Nostrand Avenue station and called 911 after that alleged assault. Cell phone video captured heated moments on a southbound 3 train in Crown Heights. The footage circulating on social media appears to capture a man violently grabbing a passenger's jacket and a second suspect hurling threats. What wasn't captured, according to the NYPD, the anti-Semitic comments the suspects allegedly made toward the victims, both student residents at Chabad Lubavitch World Headquarters on Eastern Parkway.
That was very painful to me because I myself was on the train, not on the same train as them, but I myself was on the train doing similar things that they were doing.
According to authorities, the victims were leaving a Hanukkah celebration in Union Square when they got into an argument with the suspects before boarding the train. The verbal altercation escalated until the victims managed to call police at the Nostrand Avenue stop. Police say no one was injured, but those visiting this iconic site this holiday say anti-Semitism is a growing concern.
Every day we usually come to expect that something bad's going to happen, and our response is always the same: to respond with light, to respond with being more Jewish.
The video capturing the attention of officials with the U.S. Department of Justice, promising to investigate. Mayor Adams also taking to X to say in part, we can never allow such hate and anti-Semitism to persist in our city. The alleged assault comes on the heels of a mass shooting in Bondi, Australia, that targeted a Jewish event on the first night of Hanukkah. Officials say 15 people were killed, dozens were injured. The tragedy hits close to home for student Mayor Lazaroff, whose cousin was among the wounded.
She was in very critical condition. In the beginning, some of the doctors feared the worst, but thank God now I believe it's over the worst. We're in a good place.
Tonight, the Jewish community hoping to spread love and light this Hanukkah.
Whether it's a subway here in New York City or Bondi Beach in Australia, it's the same mentality. It's the same brutality. We just got to stand up, stand proud.
And MTA officials putting out a statement saying that this type of apparent hate crime has no place on the subway or anywhere in the city. The NYPD's hate crime task force is investigating, and they're pouring through every inch of surveillance video on the subway in search of those suspects. For now, we're live in Crown Heights, Brooklyn. Crystal Cranmore, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
The world is looking. Let's go to Isaiah 48 and verse 22. What's interesting enough, right? A so-called black man can get shot by the police, by somebody that's a neighborhood watch person, right? Be completely unarmed, completely not doing anything wrong, didn't get shot and killed by these people, and nothing will happen. It has to take protests and the NBA players wearing their hoods. You know what I mean? It had to be hashtagged and share this, and we're gonna march on this day to get anything done, right? Or just to have any type of investigation. Of course, we all know that the person usually just gets off anyway, but just to have any type of investigation, it takes a massive amount of work. This little dude gets in an argument before he gets on the train. It takes two people to get in an argument. You can't argue with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody's arguing with me, I'm like, okay, like I can ignore you. But if I'm arguing back, that means I'm engaging into this argument. You know what I'm saying? And if I get gripped up on the sub or on the train or whatever, then that's what happens. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where these people are from. You argue with somebody and then they put their hands on you. You bought that. You know what I mean? Like you're supposed to be like, look, I'm cool, bro. I don't want no trouble. You know what I'm saying? You got it. You know, let him argue, you go to the next sub. He's following you, then look, then that's when you call the cops or whatever like that. You don't want any problems with him. But if you're gonna stand there and argue with somebody and then they grip you up like the little boy you are, then it's a man's world, man. What are you doing here? You know, shut your mouth. But it's crazy how when that happens, look what they do. The investigator, the mayor tweeted about it. Do you know what I'm saying? The hate crimes investigation unit, special forces, you know what I'm saying? Like everybody in the world, you know what I mean? Netanyahu probably gonna release a statement, you know? God. So it tells you, I forget, it's Voltaire, somebody says, if you want to know who rules over you, find out who you can't talk about. You know what I'm saying? They tearing us. Like, I don't know if you've been on social media lately or seen the videos of, you got Edomites walking up to Jake, calling them names and monkeys and chimps and all that, and then pulling out guns on him, and nothing happens to him. You know what I mean? But this guy gets a little boy, don't play with me. And now it's a whole investigation. That dude's probably about to do 40 years in jail for that. Sure. You know? It's a wicked world, man. They say, all we want is peace and love and light. But y'all steady bombing people in Gaza that are standing in line to get rice. Y'all don't want light and love. Y'all want war. But when you come out, it's love, it's this, that, and the third. But then when you go underneath those synagogues and you see them stained mattresses and baby carriages, you're like, what in the hell? What are y'all into? You know, and that's probably what he said. Like, man, we seen what happens underneath the synagogues. Y'all got little tunnels and everything with dirty mattresses, stained, bloody mattresses down there. What do y'all do down there? That's enough. That's enough to be on a hate crime. You know, and what does it say with you read Revelation 2:9 on social media, you're spreading hate, and that's the word of God. So you know where we're at with this. It's an evil place. Go ahead, Ken. You can bring it out.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 48, and verse 22. There is no peace, says the Lord, unto the wicked.
Yeah, wicked, man. He ain't getting no peace. It don't matter if you're in Australia. So it don't matter if we're Australia or on a train in Brooklyn. Yeah, it doesn't matter. You know, if you're wicked, you're not getting no rest. You're not getting no peace. Thus saith the Holy Bible. Thus saith the Lord. All right. Let's continue on. Let's get 2nd Ezra chapter 13 and 32. We're gonna keep it moving. Couple more, you know what I mean? Scriptures. This is interesting. It's like a 3-eye atlas passed by the United States. It's not the United States, my bad. Passed by Earth on December 19th. Right. And one thing that Avi Loeb was talking about, this guy that talks about 3-eye atlas more than anybody, everybody else says it's a comment. He's saying we don't have to worry about 3-eye atlas. We got to worry about what it drops off. right? Like what if it drops off probes? You know what I'm saying? Come to find out, I think around in March, the way the Earth's rotation is, Three-Eye Atlas has, I think, like 5 jets streaming out of them, out of the, structure that it is. And they said they picked up through, the satellites that is cyanide coming out of there. Now, we all know cyanide is like poison, it'll kill you. So, but it does have properties of life, like budding life or something to that effect. So they thought that was odd because it went by Mars really close. It's going by Jupiter really close. It's going through the ecliptical plane of the planets, spreading out the cyanide that can actually bud life possibly on these other planets, right? Thursday, right? As I'm driving around, I drive by, I put this up on Instagram and Facebook. People probably thought it was a joke. It was serious. Driving around down West Philly, right? Seen a person, quote unquote person, right? This is Thursday, the day before Three-Eye Atlas. So this is the 18th of December. Came really close to the car, right? I had a green light, they had a red light, and they're looking down and almost like kind of ran into the street, but like kind of jumped, right? So it made me slow down and look like, yo, what are you doing? And it looked like a child, right? I'm like, whose child is this? Short, 3 foot, 4 foot, whatever, walking with a hoodie on. And as I stopped, they're looking down at a device, cell phone, whatever device. I looked in, lie to you not, looked like a gray alien. Can't make this up. Never looked up at me though. Never even looked at the light, where the car was, where they were. It just seemed that the way this person, quote unquote, was moving, it wanted me to look at them. You know what I'm saying? Which is, it sounds weird and I get it, but I don't care. Something I just had to bring out. So when I talk about that, they walk among us, that was a real deal story. Okay. So take it as you want it, take it as you need it. It is what it is. All right. Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 32.
No, this is the book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 13, and verse 32 in the Apocrypha. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass, and the signs shall happen which I shewed thee before. And then shall my son be declared, whom thou sawest as a man ascending.
Read on.
And when all the people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have one against another.
And we're getting there, right? Because now we have, I don't know how many warships sitting outside of Venezuela. Russia said, you got a problem with them, you got a problem with us. China's on that same type time. So if Trump does push the button, not if, but when, that looks like World War III implications. Okay. And then Venezuela said to Colombia, yo, you got my back. Let's ride. Okay. Can you read verse 34?
34. And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together, as thou sawest them, willing to come and to overcome him by fighting.
They want to fight against the Lord. You believe that? What's wrong with these people? But the interesting part is they have a system set up right now where they can fight against the Lord. And it's being implemented, I believe, as we speak. All right, so let's go to the next video and it'll talk about more about that. Planetary defense. Unbelievable. And this is something they're not talking about on CNN and MSNBC law like that. You know what I mean? So it's not like we want people to spin the narrative. To them, there is no narrative. It's only a couple people talking about this, like a real was it Vaughn, whatever. Yeah, whatever, Juan. Go ahead, can you press it?
Europe has launched its first ever planetary defense drill as interstellar visitor 3I Atlas barrels through the solar system. A cosmic stranger has triggered a global wake-up call, and humanity is rehearsing for the ultimate what if. Take a look.
It glows faintly against the black, a blur of ice, dust, and mystery hurtling through deep space. Astronomers call it 3I Atlas, only the third known interstellar object ever detected. And it's just brushed inside our cosmic neighborhood, a visitor from outside solar system. The interstellar comet, currently 273 million kilometers from Earth. The comet will make its closest approach to Earth on December 19, 2025, when it will be approximately 269 million kilometers away. The alarm bells are ringing loud. Europe has announced the launch of largest planetary defense exercise ever conducted. The drill, hailed as a continental wake-up call, brings together defense ministries, space agencies, military radar units, and emergency responders across 27 nations. Together, they will simulate a coordinated response against a hypothetical object with the mass and speed of 3I Atlas, a scenario that would unleash energy measured in multiple nuclear warheads. Across Europe, the message is clear: humanity can't wait for impact to prepare. And yet, amid the tense atmosphere, scientists are quick to clarify one thing: the real 3I Atlas poses no threat. It will pass harmlessly through the outer solar system. Its path is distant, stable, and nowhere near our blue planet. But its arrival has sent a message Earth cannot ignore. Space is vast, unpredictable, and indifferent. The question is not if the next threat comes, but whether humanity will be ready.
For all the latest news, download the Vion app and subscribe.
So this activation International Asteroid Warning Network drill for 3I Atlas is running from November 27th to January 27th. Okay, so it's not like, well, 3I Atlas left on December 19th, so it's all over now. They're looking for other things. They're looking for these probes that potentially been dropped off by 3I Atlas, and that can invade the skies of North America, Europe, so forth and so on. So Esau's scared. That's what it comes down to. Don't think he ain't shook. You know what I'm saying? And whatever right now is happening in the skies, I'm pretty sure he's not going to tell us. Do you know what I'm saying? So a lot of you know, the what are they called? Amateur astronomers are looking into it right now as we speak. So anything that happens, I will definitely keep you updated. All right. And you can look up in the sky for yourself, see if you see anything. All right. Let's continue on. So that is our Skywatch edition. Now let's talk about what's happening on the ground. Let's get Job chapter 4, verse 12. So the interesting thing about the so-called UFO phenomenon, right, which we call the chariots, the interesting part about that, it is very much tied to paranormal phenomenon on the ground, where people will say ghosts and haunted houses and stuff like that. Sometimes when you see chariots in the sky, as you're going to see in the next segment, when you see the chariots in the sky, paranormal phenomenon starts happening in people's houses. People that investigate the UFOs, so-called UFOs, they'll have paranormal occurrences in their house. And this is what the next story is going to be talking about. This is coming out of Las Vegas with George Knapp. Let's bring that out though in Job chapter 4 and what I say?
12.
4 and 12, yeah, Thwada.
Gone. Oh, you're on the bar. Oh, this is the book of Job, chapter 4 and verse 12. Now a thing was secretly brought to me, and mine ear received a little thereof.
Khan, go ahead.
And thoughts from the visions of the night, when deep sleep falleth on men.
Khan, read on.
Fear came upon me, and trembling, which made all my bones to shake.
Khan, so it's a scary thing. You know what I'm saying? When you see something that is not supposed to be there, but it's clearly there and it's not supposed to be there, that can cause an adverse effect on your nervous system, like fight or flight. And a lot of times people don't fight or flight. They just stand there shook and shaken. Okay. And this was happening in Job. Read on.
Then a spirit passed before my face. The hair of my flesh stood up.
So it's like getting goosebumps. You ever been sitting there and you get goosebumps like, oh, it's like a spirit passed by me. Your grandma tell you that, mom tell you that, like, what a spirit passed by you? Because we kind of know these things inherently without reading the scriptures. You know what I mean? It's like been passed down. Like, oh, I just got to chill. You know what I mean? That happens, right? It happens to a lot of people. Okay, read on verse 16.
It stood still, but I could not discern the form thereof. An image was before my eyes. There was silence, and I heard a voice saying,
God, he couldn't see. He's like, what is that? Like, I see something. I can't tell what it is. You know what I mean? Almost like a ghostly like structure. I mean, not structure, but ghostly like figure, not having a shape. It's very strange, right? And what did he say? Go read verse 17.
17. Shall mortal man be more than just God? Shall a man be more pure than his maker?
Khan. You know, he started talking to him. Okay. So we have to read the rest, but having a conversation with a spirit, Job had one, you know what I'm saying? So it's very much a possibility, you know what I mean? This is something that is taught in 8th grade, you know what I mean? You're not born you're not raised thinking things like this can exist. If anytime they do talk about spirits, ghosts, paranormal activity, it's usually like a joke or in a horror movie, like, oh, that's something I've seen on TV. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? But one thing people are going to see in the very near future is that all these things are real. You got to prepare yourself for it. All right. Esau didn't, and Esau's having a rough time. All these things are real. You got to prepare yourself for it. Dang, I mean, that's serious when you get the that was the only time that had any type of replay or you know what I'm saying with anything I was saying. So it just kind of adds an exclamation point on that. Okay, they are real, and people are going to be seeing them sooner than they think. Okay, let's watch the next video. Bubba Kashaw. Esau wasn't ready for this, but most people aren't. Oh, look at that. We've been on for 144. I like that. Nice numbers.
For 27 months, Las Vegas was UFO Central, a secret program known as OSAP, was created back in 2008 with support from Nevada Senator Harry Reid and actually became the largest UFO investigation ever undertaken by the U.S. government, at least as far as we know.
But the investigators for the program, all of whom had top security clearances, encountered things that were far stranger than UFOs, phenomena that could be accurately described as paranormal.
8 News Now Chief Investigator George Knapp, the only journalist allowed to know about OSAP, spoke to the government scientist who was the program's director. George?
Yeah, things get a little weird here. Back in that era, 2008 to 2011, I had heard the name Dr. Jim Lakatsky a few times, mostly in hushed whispers. I finally met him face-to-face on St. Patrick's Day, 2018, at a meeting in D.C. arranged by Senator Reid. That's when I received a full download about OSAP that stunned me. What they found in this sprawling UFO investigation is that these unknown craft, whatever they are, seem to generate spooky phenomena that seemingly shouldn't exist.
We heavily went into Skinwalker Ranch, property of Robert Bigelow's. He offered a facility where we could see UFOs and the paranormal at once in one location.
How did this ranch in northeastern Utah, previously owned by Las Vegas aerospace tycoon Robert Bigelow, become a key part of the government's classified UFO investigation? It started at DIA, the Defense Intelligence Agency, where rocket scientist and intelligence analyst Dr. James Lakatsky and a colleague, Jay Stratton, became both puzzled and alarmed by reports about UFO intrusions at many of our nation's most sensitive national defense facilities. Residents of the Uinta Basin in northeastern Utah had been reporting frequent UFO incidents for decades, probably longer. And the Bigelow Ranch was deemed an epicenter of weird activity, not just UFOs, but also unknown creatures, things that presumably exist only in myths or movies.
Okay.
Bigelow's organization, NIDS, moved on to the ranch, and its team of scientists and investigators began collecting testimony from residents, then started seeing the creatures and phenomena for themselves. Lakatsky, Stratton, and the bosses at DIA were intrigued, not repelled, by the wild stories. They wanted to know if UFOs and the seemingly related paranormal incidents might be considered a threat.
Because I could see from my organization the threat potential, and we weren't covering many of the things you were observing. Strange creatures. I mean, think of inducing these, what might be called illusions by some people, into an enemy force. We wanted to learn what can be weaponized here.
Lakatsky and Stratton put together a program which DIA approved. The acronym was OSAP. Senator Harry Reid helped secure the funding, and Bigelow Aerospace was the contractor. 50 full-time investigators were hired, obtained top-secret security clearances, and went to work. The main focus was UFOs and UFO technology, but one smaller focus was measurable health effects on people who encountered a UFO and were physically harmed or developed rare diseases, including psychological effects. That allowed OSAP to cast a wide net and to report seemingly outlandish stories about creatures, poltergeist-type activity, and other weirdness. Dr. Lakatsky says that OSAP created a massive database of UFO accounts, but the witnesses were typically reluctant to admit that they had also had paranormal experiences after encountering UFOs.
We realized that people who openly say and are confident enough to say, I observed a UFO up close, maybe on the ground, that they always seem to have a paranormal connection in some way if you gently push them.
Perhaps the strangest experience reported by nearly everyone in OSAP who visited the Bigelow Ranch is what is now known as the hitchhiker effect. At least 5 highly experienced intelligence officers who went to the ranch to check things out came into contact with paranormal phenomena and then took it home with them. They and their families would see balls of light inside their homes, shadowy figures, even creatures that were physical, not merely a mental image. After one investigator returned from the ranch to his East Coast home, his entire family was bedeviled by orbs and what they described as a wolf that walked on 2 legs.
The one here in the Washington area, and that's why you have to say paranormal. I mean, what did it get in a train or plane and come to Washington? It left deep scratch marks on the tree it was resting against. There was physical evidence.
After the existence of OSAP was first reported by us in 2018, and the full scale of the strange phenomena it had examined was made public by Dr. Lakatsky in his books, including the newest one, New Insights, skeptics claimed the DIA had killed OSAP at the end of 2010 because the reports it received were simply too weird.
Did they ever have the opinion that, oh gosh, this is getting kind of weird?
No, they never did. They basically kept quiet. That's all. They didn't want to see it in the Washington Post.
Lakatsky and others familiar with OSAP tried to find a new home, a spin-off version, something called Kona Blue. Harry Reid helped lead that charge, and the Department of Homeland Security initially said yes, then higher-ups killed it. Lakatsky's new book hints that some slice of Kona Blue did move forward, but he declines to spill further details about that for now.
Well, we can tell you that Area 51, UFOs, military technology, unsolved mysteries, much more from 50 years of exclusive news reports and interviews is coming your way.
That's right. Mystery Wire is back, hosted by chief investigator George Knapp, as well as Ron Fuchs.
So that is the future of America. That is something that Babylon is going to have to deal with, things they cannot see, things they can see that they only thought were in movies. And it's not just Esau, you know what I'm saying? Our people are going to be affected by these things as well, because the 2/3 outdo the heathens in some instances. So the wicked are going to be subjected to a high level of spiritual attacks, and Most High willing, our people will repent, but 2/3 is a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? It would be great to have, a Jonah-like experience where everybody repents. You know what I mean? But with that, I'm not going to hold my breath. But it's all in the will of the Most High, and we already know 2/3 wrong people got to perish. All right. So if you don't want to see, what did it say, like a wolf man in somebody's backyard? Orbs flying around your house, putting scratches on you, terrorizing you day and night. It's best to repent. Now it would be nice to have angels encamped around you that protect you. So you got choices. Me and my house, we're gonna serve the Lord. All right. Let's continue on. Let's go to talk about the days of Noah. Right now on the West Coast, it is flooding. It is huge torrential downpours. There's a guy, I think in Uganda, that was saying that he's building arcs somewhere over there in Africa. He's building the 8 arcs. God told him to. It's going to be a flood. He might be right. You know what I mean? But he could have built them Jones over there on the West Coast of the United States, because I don't know if it's going to be raining over there in Africa where he's at. It look kind of dry, but he might have got the wrong location. All right, because Washington, Oregon, and California have been under immense storms and tempests. Okay, let's get Matthew 24 and 37. And let's talk about it. Because, we're going to watch the video on it too. You know what I'm saying? See pretty much Washington being underwater. And this happened about a week ago. Since then, there has been more rain over on that side, more storm systems gearing up in California, so forth and so on. So it ain't getting no better. All right. Oh, you got it. You can bring it out.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 28, chapter 24, and verse 37. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
As the days of Noah were, so shall also be the coming of the sons of man be. Read on.
For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark.
Partying, reveling. Right now, what we got? Christmas. Everybody's at a little Christmas party. New Year, or not New Year's, but Christmas Eve parties and partying, drinking, and all that other stuff. Same thing, so-called New Year's Eve. Everybody's having a good time, not even looking at the time that we're living in, right? Go ahead.
And knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
The flood came, got him out of here. All right, let's play the next video. We got about 3 more videos, so I'll speed it up for the sake of time. But let's watch this next video with Washington State and the devastation there.
A retired South Jersey teacher and a current Santa Claus actor is facing serious charges tonight. Police in Hamilton Town.
But we do begin tonight here with the state of emergency in Washington State. Look at the pictures coming in. Catastrophic flooding. Up to 100,000 people have been told to be on alert to evacuate at a moment's notice. Raging waters, entire neighborhoods underwater tonight. Hundreds of National Guard members now activated. Black Hawk helicopters making water rescues. Another chopper was seen saving 2 drivers trapped in the rushing waters, airlifting them to safety. Tonight, we're also tracking a new Clipper system moving from Montana all the way to the East Coast. Dangerous driving in the Northeast. The school bus on its side in Vermont, trouble landing at the Rochester, New York airport. And with this storm, a new Arctic blast, wind chills below zero from Minnesota all the way to New York and right up to Maine. But we do start here with this emergency unfolding. ABC's Trevor Ault on the scene for us in Washington State tonight.
Tonight, rivers raging out of their banks across the Pacific Northwest. 100,000 residents warned to be ready to evacuate. More than a foot of rain already, and multiple rivers in Washington are in major flood stage.
Look at Issaquah Creek racing into the parking lot of this apartment complex here. Emergency workers came in after midnight to get everybody evacuated because the water level was rising so quickly.
Not far from here, first responders from Eastside Fire and Rescue and a Navy chopper working to save 2 drivers caught in the rapids, one of them found clinging to a tree. Blackhawks also making rescues. Swiftwater teams fanning out all across the impacted areas.
If you have instructions to evacuate from your local authorities, please, please, please evacuate.
Residents sandbagging along the Green River. Michael Patak and his brother using heavy equipment.
We're just trying to build a wall, like a little island perimeter around the property here, to keep the water out from the house.
And as rivers rise in the west, new rounds of snow slamming the Midwest and Great Lakes. Planes struggling to land in Rochester, New York. Some spots there could get up to a foot of snow in the next 48 hours with sub-zero wind chills right behind it.
And David, look at the Snohomish River raging here. They had built 33-foot levees to contain it. It just climbed over the top of them as it shattered its record high water level. Some rivers in Washington won't even crest until tomorrow, and then even more rain is coming on Sunday. David.
Just awful scenes coming in from Washington. We're thinking about all those families. Trevor, thank you. Let's get right to meteorologist Danny Beckstrop from WABC back with us again tonight. Hi, Danny.
Hi, David. This is what we're looking at tonight. The next round of rain moving into the Pacific Northwest Sunday night into Monday. Totals won't be as significant, but any additional rain could quickly swell rivers again and trigger more flooding. In the east, cold and blustery conditions fueling heavy lake effect snow across western New York and Pennsylvania, while a Clipper system brings accumulating snow and slick roads to parts of the Midwest and Appalachians through tonight. Behind this, a big Arctic blast for the weekend. Wind chills dipping below zero from Minneapolis to Chicago Saturday and Sunday. It'll feel like the teens here in New York City Friday morning, getting even colder for the I-95 corridor by Monday. David?
All right, Danny Beckstrom with us tonight. Danny, thank you.
A black man interrogates white people the same.
We're going to get to that. That's hilarious. And San Francisco. Right? San Francisco, the lights went out in San Francisco. Probably the gayest city in America. You know what I'm saying? At least one of them. You know, pretty much Sodom and Gomorrah got blacked out, where their cars that are automatically driven cars, they didn't know what to do. They just stopped. They just, stopped at the light, just started flashing their lights, didn't know what to do. So a lot of judgments taking place on the West Coast. Okay. Let's continue on. Like I said, for the sake of time, we're going to get into the next story, which is hilarious, right? The guy is doing what Esau would do to us. Let's get Psalm chapter 2 and verse 1. Esau come up to us and say, "Are you supposed to be here? Where's your ID? I need to see your ID." Jake is doing that, and it's funny, like, because it's so like backwards. Like Esau walk up to you, try to touch your hair. You're like, "Yo, don't touch me." He's like, "I just want to feel your hair." He's doing the same thing with them. Like, "Wow, what's in your hair?" And everything. Like, of course, a lot of Edomites like backed up, but you gotta watch who you do that to, right? Because some of them might smile at him like, "Hey, what's your name? What are you doing later on?" You know what I'm saying? Being a whole bundle of sticks. All right. But it's really funny. Dude's viral doing this. And another thing he did, right? Every time Esau walked by, he would click his alarm in his car. He would look at him like, "Beep, beep." "Oh, you're not gonna get my car." They're looking like, "What are you doing that for?" Oh man, hilarious. Bull is the bed. All right, but let's bring that out. Psalm chapter 2 and verse 1.
No, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 2 and verse 1. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing?
Con, what are you mad for, son? Just doing the same thing you did to us. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
The kings of the earth set themselves, and the rulers take counsel together against the Lord and against his anointed, saying,
Con, so they all get together against us. Go ahead.
"Let us break their bands asunder and cast away their cords from us."
Con, read on.
He that sitteth in the heavens shall laugh. The Lord shall have them in derision.
Con, so
Then-
it's hilarious. Go ahead, read verse 5.
Then shall he speak unto them in his wrath and vex them in his sore displeasure.
Con, so it's not all fun and games. It's not all laughter and jokes. Okay, this is coming with judgment. You know what I mean? So right now it's funny. Like it's kind of like a break into all this, like some funny, some funny news. But don't just think for a second that it's all fun and games. This is coming with judgment along with it. All right. The Most High has a little break with some jokes. You could play the next video of this guy. I don't know his name. I guess you're going to tell us on here. So it'd be funny to watch and follow him on social medias, because the bull he's hilarious. Definitely the bid.
People the same. A black man interrogates white people the same way black people are typically interrogated by Karens. Here it is.
Are you sure you live here? Oh, okay. You have ID? Do you have ID? Sir. You don't have ID? Yeah, come out here and talk to me real quick. No. Yeah, it's been a string of robberies and the description kind of fits you.
Get out of my face.
No. Come step out? Yeah. Look, I don't care about this little mad look. I don't care about that. Get your ass out of here. Do you live here?
Yeah.
I've never seen you before.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Kara.
Kara?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know everybody that lives here.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you live here?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. How long?
Yeah. Like 4 years.
Yeah, that's funny. I've been here, 5 years.
5 years? Okay. Yeah.
How's it coming across?
cross.
You said what? Pass out the cross?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You sure you live here?
I'm really positive.
All right. That's crazy.
Innocent white people had to be involved to make the point. I'm sorry, but the point is the point. Put it up full mass. We appreciate you all being part of this. The point was that innocent black folk are routinely involved in scenarios like this, questioning their very right to exist in whatever place they're in. You fit the description. Do you live here? Can I see your ID? Countless times, we've covered videos of black people being harassed and being posed these same damn questions at their own property, okay? Now, this black male is asking white people the same questions to make a point. It's called a social experiment, to see how it feels to be questioned about your right to exist, your capacity to exist in your own residential community. Feels different when somebody's asking you to present freedom papers, your ID, in order to be where you're standing. The man goes by foreverbrand_locked in King on Instagram. I thought it was a great social experiment to show how it feels the other way and the response that's given when you have a black male asking white people at their domicile how they feel about not being believed they live there. Okay, Senator, thoughts?
God bless that brother, Doc. And even in my mind to see him do that, because we're so accustomed to it being the other way around.
Right.
Well, I'm a social scientist. It kind of didn't compute for me. Like my brain was scrambling a little bit.
Right.
Right, but God bless that brother. I hope he keeps doing more of that. And I hope people get the damn point. But that was brilliant. That brother is brilliant.
Yes.
And you sure you live here?
Yeah. It seems so convincing, didn't it? Yeah, he has more content. Check him out.
God. So he, as you can see, he's like, yo, I don't care about your face. I don't care about none of that. Come on here and talk to me. You know what I mean? Jake is hilarious. And that is, the curse is going to be reversed to them. You know what I mean? Their face was like, what? Why? How could you? Like she said, I'm a social scientist or whatever she said. And even her, she was like, man, it didn't compute. You know what I mean? It's tough to wrap your head around because it always happens to us. And now that, we can see the foot, the shoe getting on the other foot and having them wear it. Oh, it's a breath of fresh air. That was hilarious. Okay. So that's the comedy side of everything. But keep in mind, verse 5 says, he's going to bring destruction and wrath. He's going to laugh at him. He's going to destroy him. Okay. So all praise to the Most High. 2 more videos. Next one is regard to Russell Simmons. They didn't get a chance really to get Nicki Minaj out just because of the fact that, through time restraints, can't put everything together in 1 week. We'll split it up. Most High willing, if we're still here next week, we'll talk about that. How the Christian conservatives are now putting Nicki Minaj on a pedestal as a high-ranking Christian sister of theirs, right? She's getting all these followers on Instagram. She lost 10 million. One report says lost 10 million on Instagram, but also said that her Instagram was deactivated or something like that. But she gained like 70,000 because now the Christians like, wow, I like the way she's talking. But her name is Minaj. Like her name is Nicki Minaj. She came out with that name, like, whether it was somebody gave her that name or whatever, she says, my name is Nicki Minaj. If anybody knows what Minaj is, I don't know how alleged Christian values, it might, they sell Neria and all these other orgy-laced holidays that they celebrate, then yeah, that makes perfect sense. But I don't know if they want their daughters listening to her music, but we'll see. We'll talk about that next week. Right now, saying we're still here, lights are still on. But now we're going to talk about Russell Simmons. Let's get Tobit 4 and 12. You know what I mean? Russell was messing with Kamora Lee, model, Asian Moabite model that he had on his arm, and thought he was top notch. She's kind of turning on him. I mean, they've been divorced, and now she's making videos about him. So when you read Deuteronomy 7 verse 3, and it talks about not going after those strange women, taking a wife from the 12 tribes of Israel, so you don't be following after their customs and everything. Because Russell Simmons, he still got like the Buddhists and all that and everything, because he's messing with her and he's on that type time. But now the Buddhists done turned against him, and it's for the whole world to see. Let's bring that out though. Tobit chapter 4 verse 12.
This is the book of Tobit in the Apocrypha, chapter 4 and verse 12. Beware of all whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers, and take not a strange woman to wife, which is not of thy father's tribe. For we are the children of the prophets, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, even that they all married wives of their own kindred, and were blessed in their children, and their seed shall inherit the land.
So now she's making videos about him and how broke he is. I just typed up how much child support did Russell Simmons have to pay. Now keep in mind, and she's gonna even say this in the video, I'm a brand myself. I got clothing line and what perfumes or whatever she says. She's well to do off herself. And she's telling you how broke he is and trying to embarrass him in front of millions, right? Russell Simmons was ordered to pay $40,000 per month, $20,000 per daughter in child support to his ex-wife Kamora Lee Simmons, finalized in 2009 for their two daughters, Ming and Aki or something. I don't know. Damn, he didn't name them. Never mind. Ming and Oki or whatever her name is, until they reached 19 and a half years old, covering expenses like education and upkeep, while he later claimed generously it was a binding court agreement from his divorce settlement. Okay. So since 2009, oh, that's a lot of money. 40 grand. Okay. So let's see what she has to say about it. She gets $40,000 a month, right? To keep up with their.
He was saying to the guy, like, I'm so rich, I got this and I got that, and I'm this and that. None of that could be further from the truth. He has turned around, and then again, I have records and evidence of this where he's told the kids in writing, we have it, text messages, I'm broke, I this, I that, I can't, go get it from your mom. Now, meanwhile, I have been financially carrying this person probably for the last at least 10 years, but I've taken care of this person to the tune of many, many, many millions of dollars to help with their bills, their overhead, their companies that they run into the ground, their unsuccessful bids, all of their stuff. You tell the one guy doing this interview, you're so rich, you're this and that, but yet in reality, I think you're probably pretty broke.
So you definitely need to start adding garlic to your meals.
That's what we're dealing with, man. I mean, that's what you're dealing with if you're messing with a woman from another nation. Now, can Eve get like that? Yeah, okay. We all know that. But to think that the grass is greener on the other side, she's just as a loudmouth out there, like all the negative things that it's negative stereotypes that that Eve has. You thinking like, oh, I'm glad I'm not with these black women. I got myself a model, an Asian that's a model and all this other stuff, and she's successful and all this other stuff. But like, I don't know. I know one thing. I don't think whenever he started messing with her, I think she was pretty young. You know what I'm saying? So Russell, he has some stuff that he might have to look into as far as I think that's why he went to Thailand. Not sure, but it's what I heard. You know, he got some, I don't know if it's Diddy charges or Me Too charges or something. So he's like, y'all can't extradite me in Thailand. Like I said, I don't know if that's true or not, but he's getting dragged online by his wife, who's a Moabite. That it reminds me of Eddie Murphy. You know what I mean? You know, when it found you, he was butt naked and broke and all this other stuff. And now it's like, I want half, Eddie. I want half. You know what I mean? So she lived a lifestyle with Russell Simmons, and now she online calling him broke. That's crazy. You know what I mean? But that's why the Most High says, look, take a woman chiefly of the house of your fathers. Don't be grabbing these heathens and think you're gonna have a better life that way. Ain't gonna happen. She named all your children Chinese names. She got you bound down to the Buddha, and now she's online trashing you. Ain't the way to go. Ain't the way to go. All right. You gotta get yourself a Hebrew woman. Get yourself a nice Hebrew woman. You know, she wear a head wrap and a dress. You know, she wear fringes, keep the commandments. You know, that's what you need to get. You know, go on to sow your royal oats. Get yourself a Hebrew woman. All right. Okay, so next, the last video. Let's get Numbers chapter 11 and verse 4. We're going to end with something positive. You know what I'm saying? That we can all take home. A nice, delicious spice. Some people like garlic. Some people love garlic. Rarely do you find somebody who don't like garlic. Not saying they ain't out there, but I don't know none of them. But our ancestors like garlic. Especially listening to the mixed multitude, and went off. Okay, go ahead, King. You bring it out.
This is the book of Numbers, chapter 11 and verse 4. And the mixed multitude that was among them fell a lusting, and the children of Israel also wept again, and said, who shall give us flesh to eat?
We listening to these people and everything. We start going off, backbiting Moses and crying to God. Go ahead.
We remember the fish, which we did eat in Egypt freely, the cucumbers and the melons and the leeks and the onions and the garlic.
You know what I mean? We're getting out of slavery and saying we want to go back. Man, they had cucumbers, man. You know what I'm saying? They had melons and leeks. You remember them onions? Yo, we had garlic. We had all that stuff, right? So now all we got is manna. You know what I mean? And of course, it didn't end up good for us, our ancestors. But just taking us back to a time where garlic has been a fixture for a long time. You know what I mean? It's actually in the category of the onion, in the family of the onion. And this guy, what's his name? Dr. Edomite, whatever his name is, he's going to talk more about the benefits of onion. Dr. Eric Berg, okay? Dr. Eric Berg. You can play this video. It might be something you want to, if you don't put it in your food, you might want to do that. And it could help out as far as health-wise, okay? Slack it, King. You go ahead.
You need to start adding garlic to your meals. This is why. There's all sorts of fascinating phytonutrients in garlic. There's sulfur compounds. Garlic increases endurance. So if you're an athlete and you want to go longer, garlic can help you do that. Garlic has antimicrobial properties. It has antiviral, antibacterial. It's considered like an antibiotic without the side effects. Antifungal, like an athlete's foot. It's very antiparasitic as well. So it will make sure that the unfriendly pathogens are not taking over your body. It has very beneficial respiratory benefits. It can decrease a cough. It can help someone breathe. If someone has a lung infection, it can decrease the duration of that infection. It also is great for getting rid of inflammation, especially if you have arthritis, both osteo and rheumatoid. It's very anti-cancer from the compound called allicin. There's a gentleman that I interviewed that had stage 4 cancer. This was probably 2.5 years ago. He was told that he was going to die within a month, okay? Well, guess what? He's going strong. There's no signs of cancer in his body. One very interesting thing about his protocol, which I'll put his link down below, he consumed a massive amount of garlic, okay, in all of his foods, and he took supplements. So garlic definitely has a significant impact on preventing cancer, and also if you have cancer, helping you get rid of it. All right, number 6, cardiovascular. It decreases the risk for strokes. It's like a natural blood thinner. It helps decrease blood pressure by increasing something called nitric oxide. There's a lot of data, a lot of studies on that. It can decrease cholesterol. Number 7, it greatly improves the immune system, decreasing infection duration, like I mentioned. Also, it can directly help kill pathogens. Number 8, digestion. It helps the flow of bile. It helps the food move through the body, and it helps bloating and even gas. Number 9, detoxification. It helps to trigger the phase 1, phase 2 detoxification system in your liver to take these fat-soluble poisons into harmless water-soluble particles. So it helps to detoxify chemicals. And it even actually can strengthen the bone density. So there's a lot of properties, but probably the biggest thing that it can do for you is prevent vampires, okay? All right, thanks for watching. Hey, before you go real quick, I have a course entitled...
All right, so, got something, you want to put some garlic on, you know what I mean? Fried chicken, baked chicken, fish. I put garlic on everything, to be honest with you. You know what I mean? I put garlic on garlic. But might be something to consider. You're seeing all those good things, cancer and digestion, detox, all good things to live a healthy lifestyle. Okay? Let's stay healthy so we can see the end of this thing, watch our enemies get destroyed, and possibly make it into the kingdom of heaven. Bashima Mashiach Yahushai, Kwom Yashala. I'm going to end with the Lord's Prayer. All right, in Paleo Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malachbaka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Rataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashamayim, Natananawa, Lacham, Kau, Yuwam, Wasalafnawa, Kabawafnawa, Kasalafnawa, Kabawafinawa, Wala'a, Daminawa, Vanasai 1, Abo, Hawashainawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Wa'ala, Wata Palaraf, Lawalumnum, Aman. Kwom Yashala, we got next. Shalom.
Wow. Shout out to Dark Side for this beat. All praises to my higher Nawa, Yahweh, the house of Israel. Put your hands on your heart for your God. We gonna roll with Yahweh. What? He's out higher Nawa. Yeah. We gonna roll with Yahweh, and his name is full of power. Come on. We gonna roll with Yahweh. Yeah. He's out higher Nawa. What? We gonna roll with Yahweh, and his name is full of power. We gonna roll with Yahweh. He's out higher Nawa. We gonna roll with Yahweh, and his name is full of power. We gonna roll with Yahweh. Come on. He's out higher Nawa. Come on. We gonna roll with Yahweh, and his name is full of power. We gonna roll with Yahweh, he's out higher now. There's none greater than the God Yahweh. Every day he show us his power, and these storms, man, they devour. He has bodies, man, every hour. Life is sour, but he brings power. And his son, yes, we do honor. He's our Father, a mighty Father, and you defy file a squad, even bother. All you wicked ass men that started these problems, but he's the problem solver. Man, these scriptures hit like a revolver, shrapnel in your face like a bomber. Daughters of Zion, let's go warn her that the Lord God is about to abhor her. Wait, hold up, this is the reason why I'm living, and the reason why I'm even in existence is to please higher now and to show higher now that we have truly repented. Ain't no reason for a brother to come up the camp at the front like he got still.